Well, hello everybody. It's Paul. Welcome again to the channel. Not often do we talk about current events, but once in a while, if a story piques my interest, I want to share it with you guys. So the story that I'm talking about is the Apple versus the FBI. I find that pretty interesting. And if you're one of the people that hasn't been listening to the news in the past few days and not aware of it, it has to deal with the U.S. government wanting Apple to help them get into the phone of that. If you remember, before Christmas, I believe it was, there's that terrorist couple, the Arabic couple out in California that killed 14 people. Well, apparently the man, and I forget his name, but he worked for San Bernardino County, so the phone is not his, it's actually the employer's phone, but they were letting him use it. Now can you imagine that? Here's these people, they come over here, and the guy's got them a decent job, a job even gives them an iPhone, and then they still hate America so much that they just got to kill these 14 innocent people, their co-work. That's a whole nother thing. I don't want to be filmed getting a heart attack live, just going on about. Anyway, so they've got his phone now, and they are pretty sure that Apple has a thing where if you try the passcode, which is like 4 to 6 digits or so, probably more than 10 times and get it wrong, that it's going to delete all the information on the phone. And what the FBI wants to do, of course, is a brute force attack. They're just going to, try a bunch of different combinations. In no time, they'll be able to do 4, 6, or whatever to get the passcode. But they won't be able to do it within 10 times, so they want Apple to put new firmware, new software, whatever you want to call it, telling the phone not to erase after 10 mistries. Well, Apple has been refusing, so the government, of course, went and took them to court. Now, court has ordered Apple to go ahead and they've got valid search warrant. Here it is. The people are guilty. They died, guns in hand, smoking gun, if you will. So there's no question about their guilt or who they are or whatever. So it's like they want to, of course, see who the people have been talking to, and there could be other terrorists out there that the phone could link them to, what have you. So it's part of a legitimate investigation still, and there's no question about the people's guilt. So, but Apple is saying basically. At first, the way I understood it was saying, well, they really can't do that, but it turns out they can do it. Independent people are saying Apple could do it like in an afternoon, so it's not something that an average person can do. But software engineers, when they have the phone in their possession and they're able to put new software into it. Now, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, says such software doesn't exist, so it'll have to be written and then downloaded into the phone. But he is saying it's too dangerous to develop such software. He is saying, for the sake of everybody's privacy, that it's not a good thing for this software to exist that would allow anybody, even the government, in a valid investigation to be able to get into the phone. And apparently they feel that, such software, if it were to get in the wrong hands, would enable somebody to be able to even remotely get into somebody's phone. But, that's the point, I guess, I don't get, is they're saying, well, if it got into the wrong hands, why cannot Apple do the software on the phone in their possession and then immediately delete the software. You know what I mean? It's like, you write this code or what have you, and then you delete it. It's not going to get out, I guess. You could have authorities making sure that it happens, I mean, you could have people like physically overseeing the whole operation, make sure no one's going to copy this code or what have you. It's not going to get out of this room. You only have a select number of people, higher up people, with access to it, and then those people being watched. I don't know. It just seems like it can be done and then destroyed. But it's interesting, the whole dynamic of saying, people are saying, well, it's a bad thing if the government is, and I respect definitely privacy rights, the whole thing. I'm not a fan of government snooping on honest, law-abiding people, what have you. It just seems like this is such an extreme case. I guess that's what makes it interesting, Do you really want government able to tell private business, to develop something that basically goes against, destroys what they've been trying to achieve? Apple is very big on privacy. Should government be able to compel them to basically, break their own privacy barriers or what have you? It's kind of interesting, On the other hand, should a private business, you have to follow the rule of law, no doubt, even if you're Apple, right? Apple's not so big they're above the law, right? Or am I wrong? Maybe, is Tim Cook actually looking out is he looking out down the road and seeing, like, he's actually protecting people from government? It's an interesting thing. There's no right or wrong answers on these things. Things aren't always black and white. To my mind, there's an awful lot of grays in there. And this is one of those things where I think you can be on either side of the thing and have some legitimate points, and I can clearly see points on both sides. So, as usual, I like to interact with you guys and hear what your thoughts are on it. So if you would, just leave me a comment I know I didn't do a proper job of explaining, and you could probably check out the news and get a lot better explanation than what I was able to do, but that's just the way it was at this point, the latest stories that I've been hearing about it. And it's just interesting when you're saying, first Apple was really dragging their feet and having to be compelled by a court. And even after that, then the CEO, Tim Cook, coming out and saying, I guess Apple's got 5 days to give the court their plan on how they could do this, how much it would cost, and those kinds of things. But it's just interesting, he's coming out and saying, wait a minute, we need to step back from this for the sake of everybody's privacy. This would be a bad thing to create this ability to be able to do this. So it's an interesting dynamic, and it's going to be kind of cool to see how it plays out, I think. I like those kind of things that aren't always black and white and make you think. And the whole thing about privacy in the future and computers, and it's just always been interesting to me. So anyway, guys, I'm sorry for rambling, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, we'll see ya. Let me know what you think.